On a good reading day, I can get about 3 hours of reading in. So let's see if we can make this whole week one really long, good reading day. Hello humans, it's just Martine, and welcome to the 3 hour a day challenge. The rules are simple. Every day, 3 hours of reading. I have a little tracker made in the journal so we can follow along. I've been pretty nice to myself by picking this week as the week where I'm doing this challenge, but anything could happen, so I guess we'll have to see. Can I do it? It's Monday morning, and I've been working all morning, haven't read a page yet, and I have a pretty busy afternoon. I have therapy, I have some errands to run, but there will be 3 hours of reading today. In fact, I might even be finishing a book today that I can talk to you about, which is crazy because I feel like for a lot of this vlog, I'll be like, I'm reading stuff, I can't tell you about it, but I only have an hour left of Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. So I should be finishing that today. You would say, of course you should finish that today. If you have less than an hour and you're reading for 3 hours, that's just how it works. But my friends, not always. I read so many books at once, and I usually go based on how I'm feeling about the book, so who knows? I could not read this book at all today and not finish it. But I probably will. I'm at 85%, 55 minutes left in the book. I'm trying not to show spoilers, but I guess this can't be a coincidence, is not a spoiler. This is a pretty long book. It's so popular, and so far it's pretty good. Do I think it's good enough to justify how popular it is? No. But I guess we'll see how I feel after I finish reading it. So why am I talking to you? I need to go read. It's 6 p.m. and I've officially hit an hour of my reading for the day. Now I just have to do that 2 more times before I go to sleep tonight. So time to get serious about this. It's 8:51 p.m. and I did the thing. 3 hours. 1 day, 6 to go. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I spent the morning grading in bed. And now I am up and at 'em and I have things to tell you. Because I did manage to successfully get my 3 hours yesterday. And I did, in fact, finish Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, which I'm giving 3.5 stars. It's set in this really small town, and the small town vibes are immaculate, I will say that. We're following this character who is kind of run out of her wedding on her wedding day. She also has an evil twin. If you're like, there's a lot going on, I agree. But she goes to this town and gets mistaken for her twin, and then people realize she's not her twin, and then they're like, bro, your twin left and her kid's still here. And she's like, I have a niece, I had no idea. And the niece is like 10, 11. So she starts taking care of the niece and trying to get her life back on track. And meanwhile, there is this huge jerk in town, and that's the love interest. And that is why it got a 3.5 stars instead of something higher. Because the actual plot points of the book, her figuring her life out, her trying to develop this connection with her niece that she'd never met before, the small town vibes, all of those were really good. The romance was trash. I did not want them to end up together like at all. I know it's like a grumpy sunshine situation, but I feel like there's a difference between grumpy and genuinely awful sometimes. And he did some things where you could be like, oh, but he's got a good heart. And I'm like, but he never communicated it well. Not ever, not once. And so I just couldn't get behind their relationship. And every time that they were together, I was like, ew, step apart. But I did finish that book and we're moving on. I'll probably continue that series as long as I have access to Kindle Unlimited, because my sister says that the love interests in the subsequent books are better than the love interest in this book, and she said she also hated him. I haven't read anything today, as you can see from my tracker, but we're gonna get all 3 hours, so we might as well get to it. Happy Wednesday. I did get my 3 hours yesterday. In fact, I got it before 7 p.m. So I had a pretty relaxing evening of watching TV, except when my anxiety kicked in a little and I did some work that I should have just saved until today. But listen, I'm going to try not to do any work today to make up for the fact. So we're going to get to reading pretty early. It's a little before 9 a.m. I'm hoping by 9 I'll be sitting, reading, doing the good stuff, you know? And I'm hoping to finish a book today for 2 reasons. 1, I'm really enjoying the book I'm reading, so I can't wait to talk to you about it. And 2, it's the last day of the month, and I set a goal to read 20 books this month, and I've read 19. So if I just finish this book that I could easily finish with my 3 hours today, then why wouldn't I, you know? So let's do it. Happy Thursday. I am officially more than halfway through this challenge, like 40 minutes of reading ago. Woohoo! So things are looking good, especially because the days we have left are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which tend to be big reading days for me anyway. I am here actually with a book review though, because yesterday, I think, I finished The Stars Too Fondly, which is a sci-fi story that I really liked. I gave it 4 stars. It's about this group of intrepid explorers, and they break into this space complex and this rocket one time because years ago, when this rocket was sent to go to Proxima Centauri b, when they started up the dark matter engine, the entire crew disappeared. And since then, the government and also private companies haven't wanted to fund space exploration, even though the Earth is dying and people need to find another place to go, because they're scared that this happened and they don't know like how to explain it. They don't know what happened. So anyway, this group of people breaks in to the rocket and they accidentally start the engine and get rocketed into space, and things kind of go from there. They're mainly trying to figure out what happened to the people those many years ago, and also how they themselves can get home. I really liked the main group that we were following. It was a pretty diverse cast, and I also just liked them as people and their personalities. It was also largely a love story, and that love story and connection was cute. The title is based off that poem that goes something like, I'm probably gonna mess this up, I love the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night, which is a line that I love. And so this book was no different. I really enjoyed it. I do think it lost some points in like my comprehension somewhere along the way, because they had to come up with some explanations for what had happened, what was going to happen, etc. And some of those were a little confusing and it didn't all tie together exactly the way that I wanted it to, but overall I found this to be a really entertaining book, a cast of characters that I really liked, and the premise was great. So 4 stars to that one. That did carry me through some reading time. So right now I'm going to finish up the last 50 minutes of reading that I have to do today, and we'll see where we go from there. The problem that keeps happening is having reading to do after dinner. When I get my reading done, either before dinner or shortly after dinner, things are good. I can shut off my brain, watch TV, that's fine. The problem has been when I've reached 6 or 7 p.m. and still have a minimum of 2 hours left to read in the day. That's when it gets really hard. And that's when it's a big mental fight for me to get my 3 hours in. But I'm happy to report that so far I've won that mental battle every day. Let's see if I can do that for the rest of the challenge. Happy Saturday. The challenge continues apace. I am currently halfway through my reading for the day, and I just finished another book. In particular, I finished Bloodless Ties by Katie Wismer, which is the 3rd book in the Marionette series, which she always describes as like kind of a Vampire Academy type story for adults. And in this 3rd book, I think the theme is like, how many times can these characters die before they're dead for real? I enjoyed it though. I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, I mean, in general, I like the characters. I find it interesting to read. It's engaging. The writing is pretty good. So I just had a fun time. That being said, I don't have many like thoughts about it, you know? So this is all you're getting for a review, is me being like, it was good. I don't know what to say. Like, there were vampires. I guess in this one, they introduced werewolves to the world, which is pretty interesting. And there's a little love triangle situation, kind of, sort of. I find it really interesting to see how this story has evolved throughout the series, and I have no idea what's going to happen in the 4th book. And I'll also say that Katie Wismer is like the queen of an absolutely insane last-minute plot twist cliffhanger. And that happened again. So hopefully I'll be reading the 4th book soon. Not next. I'm going to read another book that has vampires in it, so I don't want to get confused, but maybe after that. It's the last day, but it's already 12:35 and I haven't started reading, haven't read a single page. That's okay. We'll find time to read in the rest of the day, even though the rest of the day is like a little weird for a couple reasons. Mainly that there is a tropical storm that is working on becoming a hurricane that is headed right for my face. So we're doing some like last minute errands and prepping and stuff. That throws me out of the loop a little bit. It's also Sunday, so I'm going to spend like a good chunk of the day talking to my sister, which obviously I love, but makes reading more difficult sometimes. One of the things that I'm doing to prepare for the storm is charging my Kindle to full so that I can just read regardless of if the power goes out. Even if my phone dies, I'll have my Kindle, you know. But while we do have power, even though the lights are off in my room, I'm about to turn them on. I turned them off for the clip because the lighting's better this way. Anyway, while I do have power, I'm going to continue reading this book that I've been reading about 20 pages a day. I'm not going to finish it in this vlog, but it's called Saving Time: Discovering a Life Beyond the Clock. I think maybe I would have more trouble enjoying this if I hadn't been warned when a family friend lent me this book that it's very philosophical. It's largely about humanity and the way we interact with time and created time and all of those different things. There are lots of powerful messages about like capitalism and stuff, but I think one of my favorite things that I've seen in this book is this chart. And this chart is a chart that compares a sundial to a normal clock. And so like it shows that there are times of the year in which when the days are longer, like during the summer, the sundial is like way off from the regular clock because it goes by the sun, not humanity's conception of time. And in the winter, the opposite happens where the days are shorter and our human clocks are like, bro, the day's still going, even though it's dark out, and the sundial is like, go to bed. So that was fascinating because it really showed how like, even at the beginning of humanity, we relied so much on nature. And it was only very recently that this chart came to be a thing where we used clocks all the time and we said, you know, we don't care what the sun is doing really. Like we care a little, you know, that's why we have like daylight savings time and stuff to adjust, but on the whole, we clearly don't care enough to go with the flow. And it's making me think about like my energy levels and how I force my energy levels to adjust to human time, which is this like fake construct instead of the rhythms that my body needs or that nature has for me. And that includes when I do challenges like this that are so time-based. I love time-based reading challenges, but this is something to consider when doing them, is 3 hours feels very different every single day of this challenge, and it works with my flow differently. Some days getting 3 hours has been easy peasy, and some days I've had to fight my body's natural inclination and natural clock and stay up later than I wanted to reading so that I could finish the 3 hours. If my body is the sundial keeper of time, this challenge has been the human's regular clock keeping of time, which is just something I'm thinking about a lot while I've been reading. I'm going to stop distracting myself by talking to you and actually go get some minutes in so that I can have my 3 hours today. Because it would be really sucky if I flopped on the last day. So let's not do that. The challenge is officially done now, and I succeeded. I read 3 hours every day for a whole week, which was nuts. Here's my chart, but you don't even have to believe this. Here's my Bookly stats. I circled the days that I was doing this challenge, and all of them were over 3 hours. So we've got this little block of 3 hours. On my first day of freedom, I ironically read for 3 hours. In fact, I read for more than 3 hours. I read for 5 because there was a hurricane. What else was I gonna do? But I have since dipped, as you can see, to less than 3 hours per day on average. I'm really pleased with the results of this. I got a lot of stuff read. I had fun. It was a little stressful at times, but overall, good stuff. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. If you were trying to have a great reading day every day, how many hours would you want to read for? And subscribe for more bookish and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!